Okay, here's what's on your final. Okay, it's two separate things we're going to look at. I'll have a second video for this one. So there's two things. It's not terribly long. Okay, write an inequality for each graph. Okay, so graph goes this way. So you put x and 3. And you need to set up the sign when it goes this way so it eats the x. So it eats x, and it's the circle's filled in, so you need the line. Okay, number 2, you got -5, then it's all the numbers this way, so it'd be like -6, -7. So you put x, -5, going this way, each number. It's on the board too. Don't put the equals to bar because it's empty. Okay, now this number line, it goes from -3 to 5. So what we do is we put x, and we put -3 on one side. That's the minimum. That's the smallest. 5 on this side. Then you eat the higher number. Then you eat the x. Okay, and then you need lines underneath because both the circles are colored in. Okay, number 4, you got two, so you can have 10 and then like 11, 12, 13, and then 2 and then 1, 0, that way. So when the arrows spread apart, you write the word or, x, 10. When it goes this way, the sign has to eat the x. When it goes this way, it has to eat the number. Okay, and you do not need the lines on that one. Okay, solve the inequality, graph your solution, label your graphs. So number 5, 2x plus 1 greater than or equal to -3. So you make a number line, you put 0. Now as long as this is my only x, I make a wall, and then I need to highlight. So 2 in the x is a times, okay? X in the 1 is a plus. You want to highlight either the multiplying or dividing portion of the problem, okay? Highlight either the multiplication or the division portion of the problem. And the reason why that's important, because if that's a positive multiplication number, the 2, which it is, you keep the sign the same, okay? So don't keep that sign going the same way. Then you take out the +1 by -1. So 2 times x. -3 minus 1 is -4. Then I take out the times through division. Okay. Now the x is by itself. So as soon as the x is by itself, I come over here, put x on the side it's on. Then -4 divided by 2 is -2. So you have -2, fill in the circle, it's eating the x, so eating the x takes the possibilities this way. Okay, number 6, 18 is greater than or equal to -2x, okay, so number line that. So x is on this side, and between the -2 and the x would be a times operation. So, on that side, you need to circle your times operation. And it's a negative this time, so that's a switch. See up here we had a positive times number, so we keep because we're dividing both sides by a positive. Here we have a negative multiplication number, so that sign has to switch because you're dividing each side by a negative. Okay, now x is to the right of the symbol, so you need to keep the x where it's at, okay? It's by itself, but you need to put it where it is, okay? If it's behind the symbol, you put it behind the symbol. 18 divided by -2 is -9. So circle, fill it, and it's eating the x again, so again it's this way, okay? And then label your graph. Okay, number 7, x minus 3 less than or equal to -6. So make your number line. The x is over here. Okay. Between x and 3 we have a minus. Make it plus negative. Now you want to see either a multiplication or a division number. So if I don't have one, I put a 1 with a dot. Okay. So that's a positive 1, so that's keeping the sign the same. So the sign will stay the same. So we take out the negative 3 by adding 3. So on this side, 1 times x. Negative 3 plus 6 is negative 3. Then you divide each side by 1, and you have x in front of the symbol. Negative 3 divided by 1 is negative 3. Circle, fill it. Eating the number, so eating the number takes us this way. Next page. Number 8, we have 5x minus 7 greater than 8x plus 2. Now we have two different x terms. They're on opposite sides of the inequality symbol, so we'll take out the smaller one. So we'll minus 5x because it's positive, and then minus it from 8x. So we have negative 7, and then 3x plus 2. Now x is over here, so 3x means 3 times x, and then plus 2. So you highlight the multiplication part, because that tells us whether we need to keep the sign or switch the sign. It's positive, so that means we're keeping the sign the same. Okay, so that will remain the same. Now you need to undo the operations with the x, inverse operations. So you take out a positive 2 with a minus 2. Line the symbol up. Negative 7 minus 2 is negative 9, then 3 times x. Now divide by 3, and then x is by itself. Now x is behind the symbol, so you put it behind the symbol. Negative 9 divided by 3 is negative 3. Circle, don't fill it, eats a number, so that's this way. Again, it's all about what it eats, not necessarily what the sign is, but what it eats. Okay, number 9, we have negative 2 times the parentheses x, 1x minus 8 plus negative 8, and then less than 16 plus 2x. Well, I set up my symbol, but that parentheses has got to go. Okay, so I distribute. Okay, times 1x and times negative 8, so it's going to give us negative 2x and then positive 16. Okay, so you drop your plus and then you just put negative 2x plus 16. Then the number I multiplied and the parentheses are gone. We have 16 plus 2x. Okay, you got x's on opposite sides. Get rid of your smaller one. Negative 2 is smaller than positive 2, so you add 2x. Add it to the 2x over there. So we have 16, and then 2x plus 2x gives us 4x, and then plus the other 16. Okay, then right there is where you're going to operate from. So you got times and plus, highlight the times. You're going to keep the sign the same. Minus 16, minus 16. So that's 0, and then 4 times x. And divide by your 4, and you got your answer. So you have x behind the symbol. And 0 divided by 4 is 0, so I guess that's what you're going to put your thing out, your circle above, 0. Eats x, so that goes this way. 0 less than x. Number 10. X divided by negative 4 is less than or equal to negative 5. Okay, so the operation, you have a division operation. So don't put a 1 in front. If you have a division operation, that's all you need. So you circle the division, and it's a negative, so that's going to be switch the sign. Okay, and you just need to multiply Negative 4 times negative 5, just make your loop. You have x in front of the symbol, so you put it in front. Negative 4 times negative 5 is 20. Circle. Okay, eats the x, so it goes this way, so x greater than or equal to 20. Okay, number 10. This looks like trouble because we got two inequality symbols. 3 less than or equal to 4x minus 5 less than or equal to 15. When you see 2, you need to line up a table under the problem. Okay? Oh, you still need a number line, but you just make it into 2. So you drop that sign there. On this side you got 3. On the other side you have 4x minus 5, the whole thing. Now put that sign. You have 15. Then in front of it you again have the entire 4x minus 5. So it's like overlapping circles. The 4x minus 5 goes here and it goes here. Okay, then you solve it. So x is on this side, a times 4, a plus negative 5. Highlight the times, so you're going to keep the sign the same. So now, I'm just going to put it down there. You have to take out the negative 5. So you add 5. That's why I'm lining up another symbol, so when I take out the 5, I know what to put. 3 plus 5 is 8, and then 4 times x. Then divide by 4. On this side, 8 divided by 4 is 2, and on this side you got x. Don't graph that yet because you got another side to solve. Okay, times plus negative. Again, that's a keep. So you take out your negative 5 by adding 5. Divide by 4. You get x and 5. Okay, so 2 and 5 are your critical numbers. Put those on each side. So it eats x with the 2, so that's this way. So if it's going this way, the other one's got to come in towards it. Okay, then to label it, you put x, 2, 5, then it eats the 5, then eat the x. Okay, number 11, 6x minus 1 is less than negative 6, or 2x plus 1 is greater than 5. There's or. Okay. So you're still making your table, and on one side you go 6x minus 1 is less than negative 7. On the other side you go 2x plus 1 is greater than 5. Then you solve each one separately. So you got times 6 and minus 1. Okay. Well, the 6 is positive, so we keep the sign the same. We do have this negative 1 to take out, so I take that out by adding 1. So on this side we have 6 times x, and on this side negative 7 plus 1 is negative 6. Divide each side by 6 and you have x, and then negative 1. Okay, over here, 2 times x, so you're keeping that the same. Okay. But you have to take out the plus 1 first, so minus 1, 5 minus 1 is 4, and you have 2 times x. And you divide by 2, you have x and 2. So you have negative 1 and 2. Circle, circle. Negative 1 eats the number, so when it eats the number this way, so then this goes back the other way. Then they either come together or go apart. So or. So on this side you're going to have x less than negative 1. On this side, x greater than 2. Okay, number 12, that's an absolute value. Remember what we do with that, okay? You make a table off to the side, that's the first thing. And then you write whatever's inside the absolute value on each side. So x plus 3, x plus 3. You put the inequality symbol, but then you flip it on the other side. So you're going to replace the absolute value function, just put d. So that means d less than 5, okay? Well, d is by itself. It doesn't need to be solved for. So I have my number. I have 5 and negative 5. So remember, with inequalities, you always want a number. X, it's just plus 3. So if I put a 1, I'll have a multiplication, and I know that I keep the sign the same. I have to take out the plus 3. So minus 3 minus 3. We have 1 times x. 5 minus 3 is 2. Then divide by your 1, you got x. 2 divided by 1 is 2. Okay. So that's a positive 1 as your multiplier. So keep the sign the same. Got to take out your 3 just like on the other side. 1 times x. Negative 5 minus 3 is negative 8. Then you divide by 1. X, negative 8. Okay, since these have inequalities, they need to be graphed on the number line. So you got a 2 and a negative 8. So with 2, it's eating the number. That would be this way. With x, it's eating the x, so that would be back the other way. Okay. So they go together. So to label that, you go x, you put the negative 8 on one side, you put the 2 on the other. Then you eat the 2, eat the x. Okay, I'm going to do another one of those. Absolute value of x minus 4 is greater than or equal to 2. Okay, so within the absolute value, we have the expression x minus 4. Remember, it's all about finding the possible values for x. Then we remove the absolute value function and put d. And by the way, you're going to put greater than or equal to, but then you flip the sign around on the other side. So d greater than or equal to 2. Okay, good to know. So I can go 2 and negative 2, because to be a distance of 2 on a number line, you can be at positive 2 or negative 2, either one. Okay, so here we got minus 4, but then put a 1 so you know what your multiplying operator is, and that tells us that we're going to keep the sign the same. Take out your negative 4 by plus 4. 6 plus 2 plus 4 is 6, then 1 times x. X, 6 divided by 1, 6. Okay, then over here, plus negative, 1 dot, and that's positive, so we're keeping the sign the same. You have to take out your negative 4. Okay, so plus 4, negative 2 plus 4 is 2. Divide by 1, x, and 2. So on your number line, you're going to have 6, and you're going to have 2. Okay, eats the x on 6, eats the number on 2. So or, then you just copy your answers on an or. Okay, solve the equations. The absolute value x plus 4 equals 6. So again, I go to that table, same thing. But there's just an equal sign, so that means no graph, okay? Now you're still going to replace that with d, okay? So d equals 6. So again, to have an absolute value of 6, distance of 6 from 0, that's what an absolute value means. You could be at 6 or you could be at negative 6. Okay, if you want a multiplier, you can put 1, then you have plus 4, so you minus 4. So 1 times x equals 2, then divide by 1, and x equals 2. Then you got a plus operator. If you want a times, you put a 1. 1 times x, negative 6 minus 4 is negative 10, divide by 1, and x equals negative 10. Okay, number 14. in the absolute value, you have 2x minus 3. Put that on each side. So that because it's an equal sign, that means no graph is needed. You can't do a graph. But you need to replace the absolute value function with d. Now d is going to have a 4 in front of it, means 4 times d, and then a minus 1 behind it equals 11. So you have to solve for d. Okay. So you take out your negative 1 by adding 1. So that's 12. And then you divide each side by 4, and d equals 3. Okay, so to have a distance of 3, you could be at 3 or negative 3. Okay, then you solve it. So 2 times x plus negative 3. So you take out your negative 3 by adding 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. Then you divide by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Okay, take out your negative 3, but this time it's negative 3 plus 3, that's 0. Then divide by 2, and you get 0. Okay, now story problems on this. In a community garden, you want to fence in a vegetable garden that is adjacent to your friend's garden. You have 42 feet of fence. The width of the garden is 12 feet. Write and solve an inequality that represents possible lengths of your garden. Okay. Now up on the board, have means you set it up less than or equal, and you have 42 feet. Now you go up here, you have two L's. I want you to put 2 times L and 2 times W, and put a plus sign between them. So 2 dot L plus 2 dot W, because you're wrapping that 42 feet of fence around all 4 sides. There's 2 L's plus 2 W's. Now you got to get rid of one of those letters. We have this 12. It says the width is 12 feet, so that means W equals 12. Okay? So you put 12 in for W, and then circle 2 times 12. 2 times 12 is 24. So you have 2 dot L plus 24 less than or equal to 42. Now you solve it. Okay. Multiplier is positive, so you keep the sign the same. You have to take out the plus 24 between dividing. So 42 minus 24 is 18, and then 2 dot L. Divide each side by 2. 18 divided by 2 is 9. Okay, so graph it, so you have 9. Circle, fill it. Eat some numbers, so that would be this way. Okay, average rule. To earn a B in your science course, you must achieve a test average of 86. This is your goal. You scored 86, 85, and 80 on the first 3 tests of the grading period. Write and solve an inequality that represents scores that you can earn on the 4th and final test to meet your goal. So goal is greater than or equal to, because you can go over a goal. Okay, your goal is 86. So average rule. Average is divided by, we put first how many tests we've taken. Now you've taken 3, but you're about to take 1 more. So you have taken 4. 1, 2, 3, but we're about to take another one. That's 4. Okay. So then we need 4 things added across the top. We're going to have 86 plus 85 plus 80, and I need a 4th thing in there, but I don't know what it is, so plus x. You're never actually going to divide, okay, because you don't know what that x is. But you can add these 3 things here. So you don't know your x, you put x plus 86 plus 85 plus 80. Okay. 251. So down here you put x plus 251 divided by 4. Now, when one whole side is divided by 4, okay, you get rid of the divided by 4 first by timesing by 4. That's the first thing you need to do. And this 4 is a positive, so the sign will stay the same. And we'll have x plus 251 by itself. The 4 will be over here, okay? When you take the 4 times 86, the 4 goes away from right there. The other side is whatever 86 times 4 is, which is 344. Then you can solve it, okay? 1 dot. It's positive, so that's keep. Sign stays the same, but you have to take out the 251, so you subtract 251. 344 minus 251 is 93, and then you have 1 times x. So you divide by 1, and then x greater than or equal to 93. So set up your number line. You have 0, you have 93, circle, fill it, eats the x, so that would be this way. Okay, last problem in this packet. The length and width of a piece of metal can vary. That means it can go over and under. That's why you see a positive and a negative by at most 0.5 centimeters from the desired amount. The desired length is 16 inches. The desired width is 20 inches. Write inequalities that represent the range of the length and width. This is how you do a range. You set up a number line for both the length and width. You're going to have a middle, and then you're going to have a minimum and a maximum. 3 tick marks on each. Okay, what's the length supposed to be? Length's supposed to be 16. Okay, but then you go 16. This is what the plus minus is about. Put a plus minus off to the side, and 0.5 is your vary amount. Write 16 twice. So you add 0.5 and then you subtract 0.5. So 16.5 and then 15.5. So the higher one goes here and the lower one goes here. You get rid of your 16. You don't need that anymore. Now you just make circles. You fill them because you can be equal to those numbers and you just connect them. Now, write the inequality. Use a variable, use L for length, and you just put 15.5 on this side, 16.5 on this side. You eat the maximum, then you eat the minimum. Or you eat the x, you never eat that. Okay, width is the same way, but the width is supposed to be 20. So then I go 20 plus, 20 minus. And I'm going to add and subtract the 0.5. So it's 20.5, and that's 19.5. Circle, fill, cross that out, and then connect them. So you're going to have W, you're going to have 19.5 on this side, 20.5 on this side. Eat the higher. Eat the lower. After you get your maximum and minimum, highest and lowest, you don't need that middle anymore because you're going to use a variable for that.